Everyone has their own special recipe in this thing called life. We all have our own unique ingredients that makes each one of us who we are. And today, I'm going to explain what my recipe consists of. My life consists of a little bit of family, a dash of friends, a spoonful of education, and a topping of myself. My name is Christina Tamara Winia Price. I was born February 2nd, 1979 in Cincinnati, Ohio, to Hans Winia and Linda Winia. My father was of Indonesian descent, hence the last name Winia, and needless to say, I was teased a lot growing up with the name Tamara Winia, so I decided sometime in my late middle school years to change my first name to Christina. My mother and father were married in their mid-30s and both previously married before one another. I have a sister and two older brothers on my dad's side and an older sister, Kim, on my mother's side. My sister Kim and I were born on the exact same day, same time, same hospital, only 17 years apart. So basically I was an only child growing up, raised by a single mother. My mom and dad divorced when I was around 2 years old, and my dad moved back to Amsterdam, so I didn't really know my dad very well. Both my parents have since passed away, and both at a relatively young age. My father was 49 and my mother was 62, and they both passed from lung cancer, and I do not smoke. I'm a mother and a wife, and this is my second marriage. We have a total of 11 kids together. I think I just shocked myself a little bit by saying that aloud. So, majority of the kids are mine. To be exact, 10. Funny story here. I had gotten my tubes tied after I had my fourth child. A year later, I got pregnant with my tube and it ruptured, so they had to go in and remove one of my tubes and one of my ovaries. And I still ended up with 6 more children after that procedure. All my children were from my first marriage. We were together for over 22 years and married 12 of those years. We divorced almost 7 years ago. My husband now, he can't have no more children. My kids are my main ingredients in my recipe, and their age ranges are from 21 to my baby boy who is 6. I had my oldest daughter when I was 16 years old, and I had thought my life had just ended. Fortunately, I had a great support system, mainly my mother. She made sure I didn't miss any of my teenage years, and I got to experience life. My mother was always my greatest supporter in everything I did. I seen my mother work and struggle all my life, and to make sure I never went without anything. My mother's life revolved around her family. She always put our needs ahead of her own needs and did without all the time for her children. I was a very rebellious and ungrateful adolescent, and I didn't realize how important family really was until it was too late. My mother's passing was the hardest thing I have ever dealt with, and I'm still dealing with it today. I realized a few years after my mom had passed, I was heading down the same path as she did, constantly working and barely making ends meet. My children were watching me struggle, and I just wasn't happy with the way my life was going. So I decided to try to go back to school in 2009 and try to get a degree. Then my husband and I decided to separate and then eventually divorced. So school was postponed, and I decided to concentrate on getting my kids through school, making sure that they were provided for. So now I am currently enrolled in Gateway and working towards my associates in business with the hopes to eventually obtain a bachelor's from Northern Kentucky University at some point in my near future. My oldest daughter graduated Connor high school with honors in 2014 and got a full academic scholarship to Eastern Kentucky University. And my oldest son recently graduated in 2017 and got a full athletic scholarship to Shawnee State for cross country. The other kids are still a work in progress, but I'm sure they will do what's in their best interest, and we will just continue to support all of them. I would say my husband, Jason, is my most important ingredient in my recipe. Without him, I don't know where I'd be. I don't think I would be where I am today without his support and encouragement, and we would all just crumble without him.